All right. We are
Live.
live on, on YouTube,
YouTube, X.
X, yes, our two YouTube channels, um, Transparency and Merit,
And Mr. Midnight Movie.
Actually Inflammatory Talk,
Oh, you're right. It is.
and our X
Inflammatory talk.
channels, Transparency and Merit,
Yes.
Walk Against the Woke,
Yes.
and Mr. Midnight Movie.
Yes.
So I decided to do this show after I noticed Middle Ground, Jubilee and Middle Ground, and it was 60 Trump supporters and 60 Kamala supporters, or 60 Republicans and 60 Democrats. And I wondered if the ADL would do that with people who are in favor of the ADL and the ADL critics. And I asked this of Grok.
Yes. Yes.
And the purpose of the ADL is primarily focused on combating anti-Semitism, but over the years, it has expanded its mission to fight all forms of discriminations. Its activities include advocacy, education, and sometimes criticism or opposition to groups or ideologies as hateful or discriminatory. Criticism of the ADL. Critics argue that the ADL, in its zeal to combat hate, sometimes overreaches, mislabels. Criticisms of Israel or certain policies as anti-Semitism or engages in activities that could be seen as stigmatizing or objectifying opposing groups. And yes, they do this often. Now, Jubilee's style format, while not explicitly defined in your query, Jubilee's style and format might suggest a framework where adversaries come together in a spirit of forgiveness or at least a spirit of understanding, or some form of civil disclosure, aiming to find common ground or at least reduce antagonism in a historical sense. So Jubilee varies in cultures significantly, and they've gotten better. They used to be very far left, Joey, and they have gotten better. However, the ADL, not so much. The feasibility in such discussion, and Joey, you can just interrupt at any time as I'm bloviating here from
No, I'm just right now. I'm like reading up a little bit on Jubilee, looking through the list of years and what were the Jubilee years. It's kind of
I'm talking about the show Jubilee. Have you heard of the show Jubilee?
Yeah, no, I know. I may as well, get a little more background on the words. So I'm just looking into it. But yeah, I have. Yeah. Absolutely.
The feasibility of such a discussion, willingness for the ADL's representatives to engage in such dialogue, there would be a need for mutual recognition that dialogue is beneficial. And again, the reason it's not beneficial for them is they're very Machiavellian in this sense, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong, they'll only meet with you if you have a certain amount of power. If you have no power, you're a peasant to them. You're not even human. You are something to be objectified. Format, the success would largely depend on the format. Strictly moderated discussions that focus on issues rather than personalities with clear rules against ad hominem attacks might foster more of a productive dialogue. And I don't know if, because I find, I've only come in contact with him a few times, and it has not been good. The the people that are connected to the ADL treat you like trash. They treat you like you're lower than dirt if you disagree with them. And their behavior has been pretty, I mean, the behavior that I've run into with them, and only once face to face, but a few times with my, when they used to engage in YouTube, these people have not been objective. They've been very egocentric, and they've been really rather radicalized in certain viewpoints and perspectives. And I'd like to go into that.
And why not? Yeah, why not? Let's make that. We'll go into it.
Well, I have some. I think that they would meet with us more likely if
they would.
We punish them. If we were able to do a if we were able to like Bud Light them, if we were able to get people together,
tough love them.
Tough love, yeah. And then they meet with you. If you increase accountability by targeting their sponsors, critics, and aim to hold organizations like the ADA accountable for their actions, especially if there perceives overreach and misrepresentation of issues. Because they're not, just if you say mean things to them, they don't care. They're going to go about their business the way they're going to go about their business. But if you attack their money, because primarily what the ADL does is they strong arm people, because what they did with social media sites is they strong armed them with money. They took away, I believe, like Facebook lost $60 billion in advertising revenue overnight because of the ADL. And I believe this was a result of the whole Charlottesville thing. And then they decided to change the terms of services. And this overreach has begun to even talk about anything regarding the pandemic, anything regarding medical treatment. And I think it's time, I think Americans are really angry at the way that they are treated by organizations like the ADL, because we've had, we were told to stay in your homes, Joey, but the only time that you could go out of your home was to go out and protest what you believed to be was racial justice. But you couldn't even paddleboard on your own by yourself. I'm sorry, I'm getting angry. But the absurdity that had happened in 2020 still raises a big chip on my shoulder, Joey.
It should. It should, Brian, and I it shouldn't have taken 4 years to fire you up, but it's definitely I was fired up from day one.
Well, the thing is, and they kept us in our home, and not only do they keep us in our home, they restrict the speech we're to say online. Is there anything more monstrous than that?
No, there isn't. But that's one thing that comes with the territory is you pick up new strategies for how to address it, and how to be diplomatic in the approach. So
well, I want to say thank God for Elon Musk. He has given us the tool to fight this woke, egocentric, sanctimonious mind virus and attack it at its core of these people that have been radicalized. And to me, if you are pro-Zionist, if you are anti-Zionist, if you are a liberal, if you are a moderate, if you are a conservative, you should want to Bud Light the ADL, because they want to control your speech, and they want to control it without discussion. They think you are a peasant, and it is time for a peasant revolt.
I think they need a good body check, and this is going to be the strategy. And and using your wallet as maybe the true atomic weapon.
Yeah. And what they say is we will continue to engage with companies to help ensure the platform is safe. Who are you to decide what is safe and respectful? Who are you to judge us as human beings? Again, you treat us like we're peasants. You don't even invite any of us into the room. And it's time, Joey, for a peasants' revolt against organizations like the ADL.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think the most important part is you got to put your division bells down, and there's going to be people on the opposite side of the aisle, and it's a different day. It's not like it used to be. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how all the different all the different thoughts converge and work together. If it can be done, then that would be a really huge step towards the goal.
Well, again, I just say where my voice isn't welcome, then neither is my cash, neither is my dollar. If you treat me like
people who disagree with you, Brian, need to be able to counterpoint you.
I don't care if you counterpoint me, but they don't counterpoint me. They just shut me down.
Exactly. That's the issue I've had so many times. We've been shut down several times. We've had shows ripped off, taken out, closed down, shut down, the whole thing.
My point is, again, where my voice isn't welcome, then neither is my dollar. And I want this not to just be an American issue. I want this to be every person civilized in the country that believes that the internet is a place, should be a place for information, the information superhighway. And the ADL is one of the groups that helped destroy that. Again, their behavior is awful. They treat you like a peasant. They treat you like dirt. And it's about time. Do you want to have business with people that fund people, that treat you like dirt, that treat you like trash? Hogwash. Joey, anything to add before I end this puppy?
The people who are still getting money from these programs, they are held to a curriculum or a body of language that they can use, and then they are restricted from using a bunch of other things. There's got to be more transparency.
Yeah. And again, don't deal with people that treat you like trash and treat you like dirt. Hey, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for checking us out. Come back again.